I'm sure the majority of you know some of the greatest basketball players of all time, but do you know the greatest NBA coaches of all time? I went ahead and compiled a list for you so you can find out just that. Let's discuss who the top 10 greatest NBA coaches of all time is. What is good, everyone? Thanks for stopping by. Welcome back to another video. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe with the notification so you can keep up with all the uploads on this channel. You've came to the right place for quality NBA content, I assure you. Without further ado, let's get right into this video. At number 10, we have Don Nelson. Don Nelson was a 5-time champion during his playing days in the NBA, but he never won an NBA title as a head coach in the league. However, his total of 1,335 coaching wins in the NBA still stands as the standard for NBA coaches. No other coach has won more NBA games than Nelson. He turned the Milwaukee Bucks into one of the NBA's elite teams during the 1980s and then instigated the run-and-gun offense with the Warriors in Oakland. During the 2007 NBA playoffs, he led the Warriors to one of the biggest playoff upsets in NBA history when the 8th-seeded Warriors toppled the top-seeded Dallas Mavericks, whom he coached prior to his stint in Golden State. At number 9, we have Red Hosman. William Red Hosman was the head coach of the New York Knicks from 1967 to 1982. He led the Knicks to 2 NBA titles in 1970 and 1973. As a player, he was the point guard for the Rochester Royals of the NBL. The team won the title in Hosman's first season with them. He was also part of the Rochester's 1951 NBA title-winning team. After becoming a scout for the Knicks, he assumed the coaching job in the Big Apple. With Willis Reed leading his team, Hosman gave the Knicks some of their best seasons in franchise history. He was named as the Coach of the Year in 1970 and was the coach of 2 NBA All-Star teams. At number 8, we have John Conley. When we talk about coaches leading dynasties, we talk about Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, and Greg Popovich. But John Conley was probably the first coach to coach a true dynasty when he helped George Mikan and the Minneapolis Lakers win 5 championships. 1 in the BAA in 1949 and 4 in the NBA 1950, 1952, 1953, and 1954. When the Lakers decided to relocate to Los Angeles, Conley quit his job and decided to stay in Minnesota to coach. He was the first coach in Gophers history to give athletic scholarships to African American players. At number 7, we have Larry Brown. Larry Brown has traveled a lot and has coached everywhere, but he brought success along with him in every stop. Brown is the only head coach to win an NCAA men's basketball title and an NBA championship, doing so with the Kansas Jayhawks in 1988 and the Detroit Pistons in 2004. He also has an ABA championship in his resume, winning the title with the Oakland Oaks in 1968 to 1969, but as a player. Likewise, he won Olympic gold while playing for Team USA at the 1964 Olympics. As an NBA head coach, he has led a total of 8 different teams to the postseason. In 2001, he led the Philadelphia 76ers to the NBA Finals and won NBA Coach of the Year honors for doing so. He was also College Coach of the Year in 1988 and a 3-time ABA Coach of the Year. Brown was the head coach during the Dream Team's failed run at the 1996 Athens Olympics, where the Americans settled for bronze. For number 6, we have Lenny Wilkens. Some players can only dream to be inducted to the Hall of Fame. Lenny Wilkens has been inducted 3 times as a player, as a coach, and as a part of the 1992 Dream. Wilkens was a former NBA player and was a 6th overall pick in the 1960 NBA draft by St. Louis Hawks. He played on 9 NBA All-Star teams and coached 4 times. He was the NBA's 1993 Coach of the Year winner and the head coach of the 1996 U.S. men's basketball team, which captured Olympic gold in 1996. He won the NBA title in 1979 as head coach of the Seattle Supersonics. His 1,332 total coaching wins in the NBA was a record when he retired, but is now second of all time behind Don Nelson. Wilkens' 2,487 regular season games coached is 89 more than Nelson's, and his 1,155 coaching losses in the NBA is the most by any coach in league history. For number 5, we have Chuck Daly. Prior to his arrival, the Detroit Pistons never had back-to-back winning seasons. During his time in Motown, Chuck Daly coached the Detroit Pistons to the playoffs in each of his 9 seasons there, leading the Bad Boys to back-to-back NBA titles in 1989 and 1990. When he transferred to New Jersey and then Orlando, he also led both teams to the postseason. But perhaps Daly's most recognizable achievement was being the head coach of the 1992 United States Dream Team, which won the gold medal in the 1992 Barcelona Olympics and re-established to the United States as the top basketball powerhouse in the planet. Daly would retire an NBA record of 638 to 437, or .593. Dropping in at number 4, we have Pat Riley. He was the guy who guaranteed that the Los Angeles Lakers would repeat as NBA champions in 1988, and he made good on his word. Although his 1988 Lakers weren't as dominant as the 1987 champion team, they beat the Detroit Pistons in 7 games to become the NBA's first back-to-back champions in 19 years. After his New York Knicks lost to the Houston Rockets in the 1994 NBA Finals, he transferred to Miami, where he was given an executive role aside from being the team's head coach. Riley would engineer a trade that brought Shaquille O'Neal to Miami in 2005. He delivered Miami's first NBA title with Dwayne Wade and Shaw leading the way. Overall, Riley coached 5 NBA title teams. He also won a title as a player in 1972 with the Lakers. As an executive with the Heat, he's been part of 3 Miami title squads, giving him a total of 9 NBA rings overall. Riley has been an All-Star coach 9 times, NBA Coach of the Year 3, and NBA Executive of the Year in 2011. For the number 3 spot, we have Greg Popovich. When he took over the San Antonio Spurs head coaching job in 1996, he finished his last season with a record of 17-47. That would turn out to be the only losing season of his NBA coaching career. In every 4 seasons he's coached in the NBA, he has a winning record, and that's 22 in a row, which is fairly insane. He led the Spurs to at least 50 wins in 20 consecutive seasons and has taken them to the playoffs in every 4 season he's coached. The Spurs have a winning record against every other NBA team during Popovich's tenure. More importantly, he led the Spurs to 5 NBA titles, winning at least 1 in the last 3 decades. He was named NBA Coach of the Year 3 times and in 3 straight seasons from 2012 to 2014. He was also NBA All-Star Team Coach 4 times. His head coaching record in the NBA is 1,245 to 575, or .684. What's even more impressive is his coaching resume that isn't done yet. He will return to at least 1 more season to coach the San Antonio Spurs. At the number 2 spot, we have Red Auerbach. Red led the Boston Celtics to 8 consecutive NBA titles from 1959 to 1966, and including the Celtics' triumph in the NBA Finals in 1957, Auerbach won his total of 9 NBA titles during a 10-year period. When he retired from his coaching duties, he had a record of 938 to 479, or .662. At that time, his 938 wins were the most by any coach in NBA history, and his .662 mark was among the best ever. After his retirement from coaching, he became an executive for the Boston Celtics, and in that capacity he won 7 more NBA titles. In all, he was a part of 16 Boston Celtic titles in a total of 29 seasons with the team as coach and executive. The Boston Celtics have won a total of 17 NBA titles, the most by any franchise. Auerbach was part of 16. Now, if that's not greatness, I don't know what that word means. And finally, for the number 1 spot, Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson has a total of 13 NBA rings. He won 2 in 1970 and 1973 during his 12-year NBA playing career. After serving the New Jersey Nets as an assistant coach from 1978 to 1981, he moved on to the Chicago Bulls, where he was promoted from assistant coach to head coach in 1989. With the greatest player in the world on his team, Jackson would build a resume that would make him the greatest NBA head coach of all time. Jackson led the Bulls to a pair of 3-peats during the 90s, helping them win a total of 6 NBA titles from 1991 to 1998. Jackson went on to coach the Los Angeles Lakers and helped the team win NBA titles during the period of 2000 and 2010. Jackson went on to coach the Los Angeles Lakers and helped the team win 5 NBA titles during the period of 2000 to 2010. Phil was a 4-time NBA All-Star coach and a 1996 NBA Coach of the Year. His NBA coaching record stands at 1,155 over 485, or an insane .704 winning percentage. Count the rings in the manner he wanted. No question, Phil is the greatest head coach of all time. That is it for the video, guys. If you agree with this list, slap a like on it. If you don't agree with this list, still slap a like on it. Be sure to comment below. Let me know what type of videos you want to see. Be sure to subscribe to the channel with notifications if you are new here so you do not miss a single upload. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time.